Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jetty, and today I kind of wanted to just do a little story time video, but this happened to me probably back in the middle of August. I was going to an after party for my friend's wedding because two of my friends just ended up getting married. So I ended up heading down there, and I ride a scooter, so it's motorized and it goes like 15 miles an hour. But I end up heading down there and I see like two people there, which there should be way more people than just two going to this party. What ended up happening was I heard from these two guys. One of them was actually the groomsman's brothers. He was telling me that they actually ended up going to the bar. And this bar was not too far away. It was just down the street actually. So I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to go see what they're up to. So I'm going down to go to the bar and all that kind of stuff. And about halfway, I'm thinking, oh, okay, they'll be back. It's only going to be about, I don't know, 10 minutes. So I decided to go back. And as I was heading back, this white compact ends up pulling on the side of the road. This guy gets out of the passenger seat and he stands on the sidewalk that I'm riding my scooter down. And so I end up stopping and I ask this guy, I'm like, hello, sir. Is there anything I can help you with? And he says, what were you doing at my house? And I look at him and I go, I unfortunately don't know what you're talking about, sir. And through this whole interaction, I was respectable because I didn't know what was going to happen or anything like that. I mean, for me, I've always been like that. I don't like stepping over boundaries or nothing like that. But he ends up telling me that there was me heading down the street and another guy looking at his car. And this was like this was late at night. And so he is showing me this footage from his, uh, I think it's like his security camera. And he goes, is that you? And I look at him and I go, I really don't know, sir. I mean, I usually just head back to I go to my work and I go home. That's pretty much it. And he looks at me and he goes, look, if you don't tell me who you are, I'm going to beat your ass. And at this moment, I'm like, oh, okay, this is like serious. And I mean, I could tell that there was something wrong because I don't know what it was. I think it was just I could tell that he was looking for something to happen that night. And so he keeps telling me, he's like, hey, your buddy here, who is he? And I look at him and I go, sir, I have no clue. I don't know what you're talking about. And, I just kept going on about how I just ride my scooter to work and back home. I don't go outside. And so I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his wife, she was the one driving the car. And she rolls down the window And since I'm not giving them answers, kind of know what's going on, she looks at me and she goes, "You better give us some answers before I shoot your ass." And I'm over here like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna die tonight. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen." But they're both not getting any answers out of me because I don't know what's going on. And so he looks at me and he goes, "Look, you just keep going wherever you're going and don't look behind you." And I believe the reason why he said that is because when I was heading down to the bar, there was like a cop a couple of blocks away that I saw. But I think that was the main reason. He didn't want me to tell the cops or nothing like that. And so I end up heading on my way. This guy, he gets back in the car and they end up driving off. They drove past me into this parking lot, and I think it was another like complex or something like that. And I think they might have been like looping back around. And so what ends up happening is I go to this not bachelor party, but I go to this after party for this wedding. And the whole time I'm just like I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Oh no, did he follow me or something?" I'm looking out the window. I'm like I'm scared for my life. Cuz I don't know if I was going to like put everybody else that I was in this apartment with at risk or something like that. But yeah, that night for the most part, I mean, I did kind of get back to my normal self, but I was completely in shock the whole night. I ended up like I think the day after I went to work and I ended up calling the non-emergency line and I told them about basically everything that happened and they said that they would get back to me. And so what they actually did tell me though was that I should have reported it as soon as it happened. So when I went in that apartment, I should have just reported it. But for me, I was like, I don't know why I didn't do anything. I think I was just in shock. Um, when I do look back on that day, I think the main thing that I should have done, since they like drove past me, I should have got a look at their plate, but I didn't. I was just doing whatever to survive. I was like, oh, I am terrified for my life. But I end up getting an email probably about like 3 days after I filed a police report. And they tell me that it was really not that it wasn't that they weren't going to look into it or investigate it just because of the fact that it was a disturbance and that this guy wasn't actually threatening me, which for me, I'll say different. But at the same time, I mean, I didn't have any information. The only information that I had was the two streets that it was on and what the car looked like. They didn't have no license plate. So, I mean, I can understand that completely. But yeah, ever since that day, um, probably for like a whole week after the incident, I ended up, it was, I was so terrified to where I was actually, instead of going on the right side of where the sidewalk was, I was always going on the left side because I was scared that someone was going to pull up right next to me and just start like, I don't know what was going to happen. But yeah, I would either like go on the left side of the sidewalk and just either, I think for the most part, for like a week, I ended up walking the whole entire time because I was like, oh my gosh, this guy sees some guy on a scooter and thinks that he's an accomplice with this other guy that's looking at his car. Which, I mean, I look back on it, and for me, I don't know if that was me. I mean, it was late at night, and usually that's when I get off. And I mean, I don't know if it was me just passing by or whatever, but I'm just happy that I actually survived that day. And it sucks too, man. The fact that it was my two friends. It was their wedding day, and that happens to me. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, I think with that being said, I just ever since then I don't have any more incentive to go outside. So